Good evening, old school Texas Tech. Hope everyone's doing well. I thought I would do a review of the review and report card for the Memphis Tigers playing in the bowl in Frisco tonight. I already talked about West Virginia earlier. The Memphis Tigers are coached by a guy by the name of Ryan Silverfield. I know I've heard his name mentioned with various openings over the last couple of years. And as I kind of took a deep dive into their season, I can definitely see why. He's 20 games above 500 at Memphis. He's gone 3-1 in his 4 bowl games leading up to the game tonight. And then he also coached in the Cotton Bowl after the Florida State head coach left, who Silverfield was an assistant under Norvell at Memphis before he took the Florida State job, I believe. Anyway, he's done a great job with Memphis. He's got a senior quarterback this year. Last name's, I believe correct me if I'm not pronouncing it right, is Hennigan. Threw for 3,200 yards, completed 64.5% of his passes, 23 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. He's got 3 wide receivers he likes. But his second favorite receiver is actually their primary running back. Last name Anderson Jr. And Anderson Jr. is a good runner, too. He also ran for over 1,200 yards, averaging 5.9 yards a carry. They got 2 other running backs and a back that are in backup roles that rush for over 6 yards a carry. They have another one that they give the ball to a few times this year, more than a dozen or so, that was over 7 yards a carry. I don't know if that was just in mop-up duty or whatever. But anyway, let's look at their schedule real quick. They've had an impressive year, no question about it. They beat Florida. Let's go through their schedule, though, in its entirety real quick. They beat North Alabama at home. They beat Troy at home. Then they went down to Tallahassee and beat Florida State. I know they struggled this year, but anyway, that's a nice win for them. They lost on the road at Navy, which doesn't seem like such a bad win now. I mean, a bad loss doesn't seem like such a bad loss now, although Navy did end up running up on a little bit, 56-44. They beat Middle Tennessee State, South Florida, beat North Texas, Charlotte. They did lose to UTSA down in San Antonio. That was looks basically an 8-point game, one possession game. They beat Rice, they beat UAB, and they beat Tulane by 10 points November 28th. And then they're going to play West Virginia tonight in Frisco. All right, so their defense pretty solid, 22.75. They're giving up 22.75 points a game. They're scoring 35.17 a game. They held their held opponents to 3.8 yards rushing per game, gave up 268 yards through the air. Way ahead in the turnover ratio. They're definitely taking the football away. So Memphis Tigers are a good team. They're a really good team. In fact, I mean, the game. It looks like I didn't watch either of their losses. Looks like they probably had a shot pretty much the entire time down in San Antonio. Looks like Navy got the better of them, but we've seen what a good team Navy can be and how explosive their offense can be with that quarterback. But anyway, they were just a couple of games on the road from running the table and being undefeated. I don't know if that would have gotten them into the playoffs or not, but very impressive season by the Memphis Tigers. I'm going to give them an A. If they win the Frisco Bowl, which I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, I think they will. I'm about to do the review on that game, but I think they will win the not Liberty Bowl. That's the one we're playing in. We're going to Memphis. They're coming to Dallas Fort Worth. The Frisco Bowl, if they win the Frisco Bowl, I'm giving them an A+, and I do think they will do that. Anyway, great season for the Memphis Tigers.